Hello friends, my name is Nicole and I'm excited to be here with Brooklyn Public Library and the Museum of Chinese in America today celebrating Lunar New Year. Lunar New Year is celebrated all around the world, including countries like China, Vietnam, Korea, Singapore, and more. Today we will be learning about some popular Chinese Lunar New Year traditions. Have you ever wondered why people put up red decorations during Lunar New Year, light firecrackers, or perform lion dance to celebrate this holiday? Well, today we will be sharing with you an ancient legend about a monster named Nian, who lived at the bottom of the ocean and came up once a year to feast on villagers. Sounds fun? Are you ready? Great, let's go. A long time ago, there was a monster named Nian, who was big, scary, and fierce. It lived in the ocean and looked like, well, we're not quite sure. Some said Nian had the head of a lion and the body of a bull. Others said Nian was shaped like a snake with many sharp teeth. For our story, Nian will look like this. What do you think? You like it? I think it needs some color. Let's do green and yellow. Okay, back to our story. Every New Year's Eve, Nian would come up from the ocean, looking for villagers to eat. I guess it was tired of eating fish from the sea. The villagers lived in fear of Nian because no one knew how to fend it off. I mean, how would you deal with a scary dragon-looking monster like Nian? Would you lure it with sweet dessert? Sing it to sleep with a sweet lullaby? A 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3, go. Go to sleep, Nian, go to sleep, Nian. Don't eat me, don't eat me. I'm really not tasty, I'm really not tasty. Go to sleep, go to sleep. Or maybe something else? I think the villagers didn't have a good idea, so they did the only thing they could. They ran and hid in the mountains every year when Nian would come to visit. One New Year's Eve, as everyone was escaping to a nearby mountain to hide, a kid decided to stay. Wait, not me, her. Look over there. Let's zoom in a bit. There she is. That's the girl. You know what? She said. I'm not afraid of Nian, and I have an idea on how to get rid of it. You're no match for Nian, the villager said. You should hide with us in the mountains. Nian will eat you if he sees you. Don't worry about me, she said. Tonight I will drive Nian away. The girl who stayed behind went to each and every house in the village. She taped red paper by the doors and turned on all the lights. Outside, the girl hung rows and rows of firecrackers around the street. Then she went home and waited. Night fell and Nian appeared from the darkness, searching the village for people to eat. When it arrived in the village, Nian saw red papers on doors and homes brightly lit. Seeing this as it wandered, Nian's eyes started to hurt, and it trembled with fear. And then, boom, pop, crackle! Sounds of crashing thunder and bright exploding lights followed Nian down the street. And suddenly, the girl jumped in front of the monster, dressed in red from head to toe. Go back to the ocean, she yelled confidently. And Nian fled in terror, leaving only its footsteps behind. Nian disappeared back into the ocean. When the villagers returned to their village, they found the girl alive and unhurt. They asked her, "What magic did you use to drive away the monster?" The girl replied, "I didn't use any magic. I just knew that Nian was afraid of 3 things: the color red, bright lights, and loud noises. So when it saw the red paper, the lights, and the firecrackers, it ran away. Next year when it comes again, you can use the same things to drive it away too." The villagers clapped and cheered for the girl's bravery. They followed her instructions every year, and Nian never returned. While no one ever saw Nian again, people have kept the tradition alive by beating drums, lighting firecrackers, wearing red clothes, and hanging red papers, also known as couplets, on the door every Lunar New Year. They also keep their houses lit up all night long. Party time! Do you know what else is great at a party? Food. Lots and lots of food. Many of them which have special meanings attached. People prepare long noodles to mean long life, dumplings for money, sweet cakes for success, and candies for family time. These are all great wishes to have for the new year. Nian, who is the monster in our story, shares the same word for year in Chinese. Can you say Nian with me? Nian. This Chinese word is Nian. Look at the lines it takes to write this word. Try tracing it with your fingers. How many lines does it take to write it? Let's do it together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 6 lines. Today, celebrating Chinese Lunar New Year is called 过年, which means passing the year. 过年 also means surviving Nian and overcoming Nian, like the people did in our story. The girl overcame the Nian monster by scaring it away with the color red, loud noises, and bright lights. Bye-bye, Nian. Can you think of something that Nian would be afraid of that's red, loud, or bright? I have a red sock. A red book? Yeah? Ooh, my guitar is loud. What about something that's red, loud, and bright? All three. Ooh, I can think of one. Lion dance. You might have seen lion dances in Chinatown during Lunar New Year. They are traditionally performed by 2 dancers who are skilled at martial arts and very strong, since the lion's head itself can weigh up to 30 pounds. Lion dances are meant to kick away bad luck and welcome good luck for the new year. And here's a lion dance costume. That's red, which Nian is afraid of. But guess what? You can't dance without music, and lion dances are also accompanied by drums. Loud, loud drums. And then there are the bright lights, which would be shining down on our dancers performing the lion dance. Okay, enough talk about lion dance. Let me show you a video. See? Nian would definitely be no match against our dancing lions. So that's all for our story today, The Legend of the Nian Monster. Whether you celebrate the holiday or not, we hope you enjoyed our story and our time together. We will leave you with a popular Lunar New Year greeting in Chinese. 新年快乐. That means Happy New Year. 新年快乐. Bye! Go to sleep, Nian, go to sleep, Nian, don't eat me, don't eat me. Oops! Before I go, let me hand you off to my friend Taylor, who will lead you through a fun Lunar New Year craft. Let's make some noise for Taylor. A 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3. 祝你新年快乐，祝你新年快乐，祝你新年快乐，祝你新年快乐。
Wow, Nicole, thank you so much for sharing that story. Like Nicole said, I'm Taylor, and this is my cat, Rue. We are so excited to celebrate Lunar New Year with all of you. Can everyone remind me, what are the 3 things that the Nian monster was afraid of in Nicole's story? That's right. It's the color red, bright things, and loud noises. Rue is also afraid of loud sounds, but she doesn't mind the color red, and she doesn't mind bright lights, especially laser pointers. Maybe she is a part Nian monster. Are you, Rue? Today we are going to be making a craft that makes a loud noise to help us celebrate Lunar New Year and to protect us from the Nian monster and Rue. Today we are going to be making, drumroll please, rattle drums. As you can see, our rattle drum is going to just be made of 2 plates glued together with a stick in between, and then some strings with, for me, some beads or something else hard with the circle attached to make our sound. To make our rattle drums, there are a few basic supplies that we need. If you don't have these exact supplies, don't worry. There are alternatives. Instead of paper plates, you can use cardboard or cardstock. If you don't have a chopstick, you can use a popsicle stick or a plastic utensil, or even a stick that you find outside. And if you don't have any beads, you can use a button, or you could even try using pasta. For our first step in making our rattle drum, you are going to need your 2 plates. You're also going to need either glue, a stapler, or tape, and a stick. And in this first step, we're going to basically be making the base of our rattle drum. It's going to end up looking really just like a fan. And we're going to be sandwiching our stick in between our 2 plates. I'm going to use mostly glue for mine, so I'm going to go ahead and glue that together. And I'm also going to add some extra glue where I'm going to put my stick. And I'm going to go ahead and put it in there. I'm going to leave enough space that I can still sort of fit my whole hand on the end. And now I take my other plate and I just sandwich them together. And you can also use a stapler. Now I'm going to use a stapler as well as my glue just to reinforce it and make sure that everything stays in place. I'm just going to add a couple staples near the handle, near where my stick is. Center my stick. There we go. So I got 2 staples on either side of my stick, and it looks just like a fan. Now, if you are using a thicker cardboard, like a corrugated cardboard, that's cardboard that has different multiple layers, you might actually be able to take your chopstick and just stick it into one of those layers like this. I would recommend that you still use some glue if you do this, but if you're able to stick your stick into your corrugated cardboard, maybe if you have a thicker version of the corrugated cardboard I have, there we go. You should definitely still use glue, and then you'll only need 1 piece. You won't have to do the sandwiching. Next, we need to add holes on either side near the edge of our plates. If you have a hole puncher, you can use this, but an adult can also use scissors to make a hole on either side. All right, there we go. So these are the holes we're going to use to attach our string and beads. I have a lot of embroidery floss around my apartment, so that's what I'm going to be using. But you can also use, if you have ribbon at home, you can use that. You can use yarn, whatever kind of string you have. You're going to want to tie them on the side here, double knot them so they're nice and secure. We want the string to be long enough that it will reach into about the middle of our plate. If it's a little bit too long, that's better than having it too short. There we go. Now that I have my strings, I'm going to take my beads and I'm going to thread my bead into my string. And I'm going to tie it to my string again. I want to tie it at the point where the bead hits about the middle of my drum. Double, triple, quadruple knot it. We don't want it flying off when we're using our rattle drum. All right. And now you can see I have some extra string, and I'll just go ahead and cut that off. There we go. Now I tried to leave a tiny bit of string on the end, just so that if I needed to tighten up my bead, I could. But you can see beads reach in the middle, which means that we can make our rattle drum sound. You might want to think about experimenting and even trying to add more than one bead just to see what the sound is like when you rattle your drum. So at this point, we have our basic rattle drum because you can see it works. And the last thing we need to do is decorate it. When I decorated my rattle drum, there are a few main supplies that I used. Mostly marker for the red stripe around the outside. I also used washi tape for the stripes, and I used gold glitter glue to make the dots on the drum part of my rattle drum, and also some red glitter glue over the marker on the edge to really make it extra shiny and make it pop. My rattle drum, it has the color red, it has something shiny and bright, and it makes a loud sound, so it should be perfect to scare away the Nian monster, and also probably Rue. Now, the materials that I used to decorate my rattle drum were just the things that I had at home, but if you have something different, you can of course use that. You could use crayons, colored pencils, you could cut out paper designs from construction paper or pattern paper. You could also add even things like gems or stickers, whatever you have available and you want to use to decorate with. Once you are ready to use your rattle drum, it's very easy. You just want to take it, put it between your hands, and rub them together to make your drum roll back and forth. You can also just hold it in your fingers and twirl it sort of that way. So if you're ready, if you have your rattle drum, I want us to use it on the count of 3 so that we can scare away the Nian monster and probably Rue too. She's right under my chair. So let's get ready. 1, 2, 3. Thank you so much for joining me, Rue, and Nicole today. We'd love it if you could share your work with us and everyone at MOCA at the museum. Rue and I were so happy to be able to celebrate Lunar New Year with all of you, and we will see you next time for MOCACREATE at home.
A 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3. 祝你新年快乐，祝你新年快乐，祝你新年快乐，祝你新年快乐。